Training to be a guardian was hard. Harder than when I forgot to do my math homework for a week straight and Ms. Vanderbilt dropped a pop quiz. Harder than when I had to dust the house from top to bottom and clean the basement. Even harder than corn dog day in the school cafeteria when I had to pick off the mushy cornbread. Ew. Sweat streaked down my forehead and stung my eyes as I stood in front of the tear in the veil in the middle of Daly Plaza. It was 6 o'clock in the morning on the first day back to school, and I hadn't even brushed my teeth yet. I had startled awake 30 minutes ago when my version of Spidey sense kicked in. Any time a tear happened, there was a ripple in the fabric of space. If it was close enough, I could feel a tingling sensation across my forearms. "Do you need help, Maya?" Papa asked. His voice rang out clear as a bell in the plaza. "It's okay to ask if you do." "I've got this," I said through gritted teeth. I drew my staff across the Picasso sculpture in the plaza, which looked like a donkey with a jagged slash in its chest. This tear was stubborn. Some tears healed by themselves, like a scab growing over a wound, but others needed Papa or me to close them. It didn't matter how small or big it was. What mattered was the depth of the tear, meaning, did it stretch all the way to the dark? Those were the ones that couldn't fix themselves. Last week, Papa and I closed a tear over a swamp in Florida. It wouldn't have been so bad if not for the alligator who thought I looked like a tasty snack. He'd tried to sneak up on us, but Papa waved his hand and put the gator to sleep. A couple of weeks before that, we braved the crowds at Lollapalooza, a music festival in Grant Park, only a few blocks from here. When we arrived, 2 guys were about to swing a 3rd guy into the tear in the veil, thinking that it was an illusion. We got there in time to save their friend, and as soon as we closed the tear, no one remembered it had been there. That was the weird part. Outside of my friends and some of the people in my neighborhood, no one really knew the veil existed. Sure, some humans had seen it, but they didn't know about the Darkbringers, the Lord of Shadows, or the Dark. Ignorance was bliss, but not when there was a revenge-thirsty god out to destroy your world. I understood why the orishas wanted to keep the threat secret, but more tears in the veil cropped up every day. It was hard for Papa to keep up with them, even with my help. Did I mention that this guardian in training business was hard? "Mama's going to skin both our hides if I don't get you back in time for school," Papa said, leaning against the Picasso. He had a black staff with symbols etched in white paint identical to my own, except his staff was taller. I changed my tactics and moved my staff around the edges of the tear, making a wide arc. If I'm going to be late, it might as well be because I'm saving the world. No one else in the plaza could see the tear or feel the cool breeze that whipped out from its mouth. Papa had cast a veil over the black hole, so we'd look like 2 hapless tourists checking out the Picasso. It was the perfect cover when we had to close tears in big cities or crowded areas. Of course, being a guardian of the veil wasn't without problems. Papa and I had almost died in the dark, and it was all my fault. I wished that I could forget the whole thing, but I thought about the dark a lot. I had struggled to make a gateway in time to escape, and the Lord of Shadows had been hot on our trail. Not to mention that the Bridge of God symbols in my gateway had collapsed beneath our feet. Instead of running, we, fell through the gateway, but we made it back home. It wasn't my first gateway, but after the battle, my magic was depleted. My magic. I still couldn't believe it, even as heat crept across my skin and a faint blue light traveled down my arms to the staff. The blue light was a new thing. Thankfully, the Lord of Shadows couldn't enter our world through a tear,